Welcome guys. Welcome to the course Learn Ethical Hacking from Entry to Expertise. This is module number 2, Ethical Hacking Introduction. Introduction is not basics, but we will cover much more about the ethical hacking in theory before starting the labs or practicals. So you know what ethical hacking is. Ethical hacking is an ability to compromise a target systems with or without permissions. But why you are taking a risk to hack a target on which you don't have permission to hack, or why you are spending time or effort or your resources or team to hack and compromise a computer or a target with the permission, and why the owner of the target is giving permission to you to hack into his computer or a network. What is there? What is the need? I'm not talking about the hacktivism or motive behind your hacks, but what do you want to achieve from the hack? Do you know China is trying to reach to the moon so that they can mine a helium-3 isotope? You might have also seen a movie called A Blood Diamond, where villages and children were forcibly mined to dig diamonds from the soil. Whether it is a helium-3 isotope or a diamond, they are the substances or materials of very high value. Metaphorically speaking, to a computing world, it is something. There is a valued substance on network or internet that is provoking attackers or criminals to hack into your target machines. What is it? Pause this video and question yourself. Done? Got the answer? It is the information or the data. The information or data could be in different formats: a text format, a file format, image, song, PDF files, or any other format, either that is stored or that is transferred or exchanged on wires, online or offline, or in a printed materials or other formats. But it is the data that is needed to be secured, and because of that high valued substance called data on computing world is giving you a chance or to hack into a target systems so that you can have your jobs and so that they can be secured. It is the data that is a driving business all around the world. Whether the data is a trade secrets, a business related information that I want to share to get the customers to me, or the data that could be like scientific formulas, recent viruses that outbreak and research on those viruses, whether anything, it could be a data. So that data is driving business and creating money, and the money is exchanged and the data is exchanged all over the world. And that data is a high valued material and that needs to be secured. Hence the platform or a domain, data security or information security, has emerged. There are two kinds of data: public data and a private data. Public data is a data or information that is intended to be shared to the public so that you can notify something about your business, or you will give some information about some articles or anything that is intended to share to a general public, whether on internet or on newspapers or on printed papers like flyers, notice papers, billboards, or letters, printed letters or any format. It could be like sending emails or anything, any information or any data sending in a text format, image format, file format, or any other formats that you want to showcase to a world or to a general public is a public data. And public data need not need any security. But there is another kind of data that is called as a private data. A private data is a data that need to be secured and it is not intended for a general public. It means that it should not be shared or it should not be disclosed to anyone. It is a classified data, or like eyes only a data. The data that should be transferred or viewed only by a limited persons. Like I share data with my only partner but not to everyone. I showcase data only to my employees but not to everyone. So such a data is a private data, and private data is a high value data. Of course a public data is also high valued, but in this case public data is a high valued where you attract the customers. But when a private data comes, it is very much high valued, that could be like a secret. So that secret should not be leaked onto a public domain. If such private data is leaked to a public domain, it can be sold on a dark web. Like for example, I'm creating a project, a software development project, and what if someone have attacked my computer and compromised it and have stolen my entire project? He can simply rebrand or give it a new name and release that product, and he could create some money out of my project, my efforts, and my property, basically my digital property. So private data should be saved and secured. You might have heard about WannaCry ransomware. WannaCry ransomware attacked millions and millions of computers all around the globe. The attack has compromised the systems and encrypted the hard drive files, forcing victims to pay some ransom in order to get a key so that they can decrypt the files. For example, if my computer was compromised and my hard drive was encrypted, I could simply format the hard drive, but what I'm losing is my files, my important files that I should not lose. So obviously I will pay the ransom to the attacker in the format he has asked, like a bitcoins. I could get the key to decrypt the hard drive and get my files restored. So that much important the files or the data are. So data security is very much important. Similarly, nowadays you might have heard about a Zoom video app that most of the students and companies employees are using to conduct corporate meetings or student to teacher courses. The Zoom application was compromised or hacked using a zero-day vulnerability, and about 500,000 of accounts were compromised and kept for sale on dark web, and even a zero-day vulnerability was also kept for sale on dark web. Anyway, private data is a data that needed or intended to be secured and not for the general public, or not to a showcase or not to display to a general public. Saying so, there is another classification of a data, moving data and a stored data. Moving data is a data that can be transferable or movable. Either it can be moved on wires, like sending emails or transferring via communication channels, any communication channels, or telephone communications, like I'm talking to someone telling some information is a moving data. And moving data could be magazines, books that I'm sending from here to another location, to far location via parcel service, or I'm sending data in a digital format in a pen drives or a hard drives, like a storage devices. What I mean is, and sending to a person who is at far place the data which I could not send via links, send via online. So such a data is a moving data. Moving data is simply a data that can be moved from one place to another place. While there is another classification of data that is called as a storage data. Storage data is a data that could be stored on devices, hardware devices, or DVDs, CDs, or any other storage devices, or even books, printed books that can be printed and kept in almaras. You store it, and when you access whenever they are needed. So data that is stored and accessible anytime you want it or you are intended to use it. So as said, there is two kinds of data: private data, public data, which can be further classified as moving public data, moving private data, stored public data, and stored private data. Do you know each day 2.5 quintillions bytes of data is created every day? If such a huge amount of data is created every day, some portion of it might be transferred or transmitted online over the internet. Or among such a data, there could be some or big portion of data that could be a private data, and that needs to be secured while sending from one party to another party. It means that data that is transmitted from one party, from one source to the destination should be secured using security technologies like a tunneling, encryption, and so on. So this course is about compromising that data security. So without wasting much time, let's dive into the class.